News dump. Birthday cake. Mac, we forgot to mention this last week. Did you notice that Disney de-caked Rogue?
What a disappointment. As a noted cakeman, I don't care. Top half, I don't care so much about. I just need some real cake on a nice young lady, you know? And they nerfed her was the perfect term. Whoever said that online was absolutely perfect. One of the biggest things about Rogue is she's this Southern belle with a nice behind, and now she's just got a regular old ass, and I'm not happy about it.
Two things. Number one, that was great free-flowing word association at the top of the podcast. Also, what are you going to jerk off to now?
I know. Now there's one less thing, so one less animated thing. So now I just got to stick to Jasmine from Aladdin. That's all I got left animated. Goo, also, speaking of birthday cake, happy birthday to you.
That's where I came from right there. That was the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Here I am, 35. Oh, fuck.
You look better than you did 20 years ago, though. One of the few people on the planet.
20 years ago, I was 15. Yeah, I looked horrible in high school.
Yeah, you've improved. I've gone the other way.
I didn't want to say anything.
Why it's a real yin and yang podcast.
You used to be such an up-and-comer. And now look at you.
Yeah, I'm over the hill.
News down. The boys are coming back to Amazon Prime.
The boys are back.
4,
the boys are back.
June 30th.
Yeah, looking forward to this. For those of you that have not watched Gen V Season 1, you got to do it before June 30th.
It connects.
Because it's important.
Yeah.
A big part of what's going to happen in Season 4 relies on what happened in Gen V Season 1, so get on that.
Also, I didn't read any articles about this, but I assume 3 episodes on launch day. That's kind of what they do.
I hope so. That'd be nice. That'd be real nice.
But maybe it's definitely top 4 best television shows for Mac and Goo right now. Might be at the top.
I would say it's number 1 because every time it comes back, I'm reminded how there's nothing else like it on TV, and the uniqueness of the show, I think, makes it head and shoulders above everything else.
News dump. Avatar: The Last Airbender has arrived on Netflix, and it's doing good enough.
Yeah, it's not getting absolutely killed the same way the M. Night
But no one's socks have been blown off.
Yeah, and the other thing too, Goo, and this is a series, by the way, and not a movie. Most, as we've learned in recent times, most of these early reviews on a show are based off like a third of the season or a quarter of the season. So they come out with these fucking reviews without having seen the resolution from the season. So that gets pretty frustrating. But it looks like it might be worth watching for those who are fans of the anime. I'm going to give it a go, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Do you have any news for this? You just had this in the rundown. Do you have any BAFTA news?
Yeah, we had the BAFTAs this past weekend, and it did change the odds a little bit betting-wise for the Oscars here. Cillian Murphy went back up to -400 on DraftKings.
Yeah.
Giamatti had closed the window a little bit, but I think we all assumed Cillian was going to win the BAFTA for that. Giamatti's the like dark horse to win Best Actor. I just don't know. If I had to bet, and I have bet on some things, I would bet on Oppenheimer to sweep because I think it's that level of a movie.
Yeah, I think Oppenheimer is an all-time type of movie, whereas I think The Holdovers, American Fiction, those are great movies for a year.
Yep. And speaking of American Fiction, it is currently the betting favorite for Best Adapted Screenplay.
That makes sense.
I have gone and placed a bet on Oppenheimer at +150 Goo for Best Adapted Screenplay because I still think Oppenheimer is going to win that category. The current leader in Best Actress category is Emma Stone for Poor Things. I just think because Killers of the Flower Moon is going to get shut out and everything else because of Oppenheimer, that they're going to give that award to Lily Gladstone. I just got a hunch there. She's +175 right now. So I put a bet on her as well.
Also, last week was the time to put money on Cillian Murphy. I believe he was around -200, so it's not the worst.
No, it jumped up after these.
I know. So now it's not even worth it. Like most of the categories
he's -400 now.
I think everything besides Best Actress not even worth putting any money on for the actors and actresses.
Yeah, there's two. There's actually Best Animated The Boy and the Heron is getting a lot of pub right now. Spider-Verse is the favorite, I believe. But I didn't want to bet against Spider-Verse. I didn't want to bet on anything minus odds, number one, and I just didn't want to bet against them for that.
News down. Oh boy, Mac.
Oh
Dune
boy.
2 is about to hit theaters, and let's just say that we've seen it. We're not going to say anything right here. We'll have a full spoiler-filled review next Thursday night, and it's something.
Yep, the initial reactions from the critics, 97% Roddy T's with like 100-something reviews.
Yeah.
An 80 on Metacritic with like 40 or 50 reviews. So it's worth the price of admission, that's for sure.
Yep. That's all we got. We're not going to say anything else.
Yep.
News dump. Also got some initial thoughts. We have not seen this yet, but Spaceman, we have reactions.
Yeah, this is that Adam Sandler Netflix movie where
that Chris Parnell character from 30 Rock.
Also stars Carey Mulligan, coming out the same day as not Oppenheimer, as Dune 2. This has an 80% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, which is
that's not
decent
bad.
enough.
53 for a Netflix
on
movie?
Metacritic.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I'm interested to see where the audience falls on this one, because the critics seem to be a little bit in the middle, but it's obviously not a terrible movie.
News down. Via the Hollywood Reporter, Kang. The title of Kang Dynasty has been removed from Avengers 5.
Yeah, I guess this was something that we've been expecting now for a couple months after the Jonathan Majors sort of fallout there. I'm interested to see where they swerve to. I have a hunch that we won't have an idea until maybe a year from now, maybe a year and a half. Well, probably right around the time of Fantastic Four next year. We'll have a good idea of what this movie's going to be. What
if we find out they could only change one letter in the title and they decided to make it another Ant-Man movie and it's the Lang Dynasty?
I was just thinking about porn parodies for the Bang Dynasty.
Oh.
Or the Wang Dynasty.
Should we get going on that? I saw the Ass Avengers once and it didn't really do it for me.
Yeah,
there's only one or two female characters, so they are just
tough.
Taking it from
just constant bukakis.
Yeah. Batman 69 better. News dump. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Is there an actual chance that Javier Bardem could be Galactus?
This is pretty interesting because Galactus is obviously like such a large character, a bigger than Earth character, like really larger than a planet. So I wonder how much of an actor they'll actually use, or how much mocap it'll be. But anyways, we've seen Javier Bardem play one of the greatest villains of all time.
Yeah.
Anton Chigurh. We just saw him in Dune 2 as Stilgar. He was great, by the way. I would say he stole the show, but he was one of the probably 2 or 3 best characters in the movie. So I guess I'm just in on whatever Javier Bardem does. And Gu, this ties into something we'll talk about in a minute. Marvel they feel like they're like strapped for a star. They need to find a star.
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite, Gu. I think they have the stars. They just gotta get the writing right, because that's to me been the issue, not the actors or the stars.
Also, and I might be completely wrong about this, but up until maybe last year, I would have thought maybe he's above this. Like he's a different kind of actor that wouldn't get into this type of material. But then he did The Little Mermaid, so I don't know.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that was weird that he did that movie.
And he had 7 different daughters from all around the world.
Yeah.
You could tell they were all different mothers.
Cars, the women in the caviar. You know who we are. Pimping all over the world.
It was weird that they used that song for the movie. Every time he entered a scene. News dump. From Mark Ruffalo, he told... GQ. He told GQ that he believes that because of Disney Plus, Marvel has lost its mystique.
I mean, he's not wrong. I just don't think... Like, this was inevitable, for lack of a better term, to rip off Thanos here. Marvel moving to Disney Plus and expanding there was inevitable. So he is right, but I don't think we could have avoided it either. So it's kind of like it's Captain Hindsight here. I don't know. I don't know if there's any way out of where they've gone down now. And it's
downsizing. It's downsizing.
This is the same for all universes now, though, with these streaming services. Like, I think they're always going to be attached to like the television aspect because of the streaming services now too.
Yeah, because even if they didn't get Disney Plus and they didn't get their own network and their own shows, they would have added another movie a year. So we would have had 4 a year, maybe 5 a year. So they would have just kept on doing this even without Disney Plus. But Disney Plus definitely, like, it really does play into it.
Now, do you think he's dropping a hint here that Mystique is coming in this Deadpool movie?
Are they saying like, oh, he's actually like, I'm actually doing a full Disney Plus show. Check it out. It's called The Rough Stuff. News down. Also got more Marvel updates. I'll let you take this.
Yeah, as I alluded to with the Bardem topic there, this is via the Hollywood Reporter, so they're usually spot on with their leads here. They're saying the heads of Marvel, so probably Feige, are still looking for their next universe leads, their next Iron Man, the next Captain America type character. To me, they've already got it. You still have Tom Holland. You still have Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch. I think you've built up the Young Avengers pretty decently. I don't think you need the lead. I think there's enough characters here we're ready to root for and follow. I think you just need better storytelling and better interweaving of the characters you have.
No, I agree that the storytelling is what it is. And also, they need to give their VFX people more time and not just spring on like a week before the movie comes out. Oh, fix this. It's like, no, we just spent months doing this. No, change it.
Right. Yeah. No, 100% on that. A couple more things here, Goo. Eric Pearson, who you would know from Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow, is now polishing the script for the Fantastic Four. And filming for that movie is apparently beginning this summer. So that's a good thing. Those two movies. Black Widow is a very good, like, baseline Marvel movie. Yeah. And obviously Ragnarok is one of the 4 or 5 best we've ever seen. So I'd say that's a positive. And then Goo, the Bears showrunner, Joanna Callow is working on the Thunderbolts script. And the reported plot of the movie, Goo, I think we've sort of had an idea about this anyways, but reportedly the plot centers on villains and anti-heroes going on a mission that was supposed to end with their deaths. So Suicide Squad-ish, and filming is apparently going to begin in March for this one.
I had never heard a synopsis like that.
And then finally, Goo, this is your favorite news of the week.
Morbius
is hitting Disney Plus on March 1st. So how about that?
It's Morbin time. News dump. Got news this week that Joker, Folie, Deux costs a lot of money. This is stupid. The first movie, $60 million. I think that was the right amount, the perfect amount to have that realism to it, that grittiness to it, that dirtiness to it. This movie, $200 million, $20 million going to Joaquin Phoenix. He does deserve it. He was a huge part of the first one. And Gaga getting $12 million. Mac, do you think this is going to be a little too much?
So I'm trying to figure out what the hell they're doing in this movie to triple the budget.
Giant set pieces, giant musical set pieces.
I guess so. But we were just told 2 weeks ago that it's not necessarily a musical. And on top of it, Goo, like, it's not like they've used it on the marketing budget because they've not really shown anything other than some Twitter stuff. So this doesn't come out to October. So we're probably within range of a trailer within the next 2 months or so.
Yeah.
But 200 million is an awful lot for a movie that's supposed to be kind of like subdued, right? Like, yeah, it's a fever dream, but in terms of the real world they're working in, it's pretty plain.
Dark, gritty, dirty, grimy, real world stuff. It's supposed to feel real. If you're putting 200 million into it, also usually budget does not go into the marketing. So that's kind of on its own. So it's just $200 million. And if they had said, well, we gave Joaquin Phoenix $50 million to come back for that, that would make sense because you need him for this, but only 20. So 32 on the two main stars. I know the first one made $1 billion, but
and part of it too is it's one of those movies. I know you already mentioned the marketing budget isn't included in this. This movie sells itself.
Yeah.
Whoever's going to go see this already saw the first one and is interested in the concept.
Yeah.
You're not going to like sell people on this movie via the trailer.
It's also supposed to be the anti-superhero movie. Like the people that hate comic book movies love Joker. This kind of plays into it. Now it's a comic book movie.
Yeah, you're right.
News down. Wow. We got something the other day that nips right out there from the production designer and producer of Spider-Verse, the Spider-Verse movies, actually.
Yuki Demers.
Yuki Demers showed some concept art for Batman Beyond, or a movie that he wanted to make, an animated movie that he pitched to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, this is awesome. You and I have been advocating for a Batman Beyond movie series, something since the inception of this podcast. The idea that we're in at least early stages of the possibility of it happening is exciting. And again, this guy, Yuki Demers, was the production designer and producer on the 2 Spider-Verse movies. And apparently he's friends with this fella named Patrick Harpin, who's a writer-director. He did My Dad, the Bounty Hunter. I don't know what that is, but apparently it's notable. 5 months ago, they walked into WB and pitched this Batman Beyond animated feature. And basically the setup was, as they walked in there, WB was like, no chance this is happening. And when they walked out of there, they were like, there's a chance. There's a chance, because they like the pitch so much. So now they're trying to get in front of James Gunn, which I think is a part of releasing this on social media, getting some play. So I'm pretty intrigued by this. And to me, this is like a really low stakes thing for DC to do. And I think it would be easy for James Gunn to greenlight, because it doesn't have to be related to anything he's doing, especially if it's animated.
I also do want the animation style to change up a little bit from Spider-Verse. I don't want it to be the exact same thing.
Sure.
And I might go into it. And so Batman, the animated series back in 1992, started with a black color palette. Do that. Start with a darker color palette on this movie.
I just like that we've seen now in a couple of the Spider-Verse universes this sort of dystopian future. And that's a lot of the backdrop of Batman Beyond, too. So I think there's a lot of crossover in terms of building up this
cyberpunk.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So it has me excited.
News down. Joe Manganiello has been told to let it go by James Gunn, saying Deathstroke ain't gonna happen.
This is a nice headline you've written here, Goo.
Thank you.
More like Joe Manganiello, let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Nailed it.
The fact that he met with James Gunn, apparently he wanted this meeting. So he calls James Gunn. He's like, hey, remember I played Deathstroke for 8 seconds? I'd like to do that again. And James Gunn said, nah, just let it go. We're good with that. We're past it. It's great.
Like, hey, you were good in your 8 seconds.
I'm glad James Gunn is a no guy. We need more no guys.
News down. Got a release date for the Acolyte.
So this is something that was announced, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, Goo, a Star Wars series that I think we've just been so up and down on Star Wars that no one has really talked about the broader universe outside of Mandalorian stuff. This now has a release date of June 5th on Disney Plus, starring Amanda Stenberg, Lee Jung Jae, Daphne Keane, that's X-23, Carrie Ann Moss, we know her from a bunch of things, Manny Jacinto and Jodie Turner-Smith. The synopsis for this, Goo, it's a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. During the show, a former Padawan will reunite with her Jedi master, so it's a female, so maybe Daphne Keene's playing the main character here.
Oh, I like that.
To investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. The show is set 100 years before the events of the prequel trilogy, a time known as the High Republic. So I'm intrigued by this. They mentioned Jedi.
It has Jedis and Padawans. You're in. Yeah, you're in.
I'm in.
That's all you. If the description just said lightsaber.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
In. Perfect. Even if it was just one.
News down. Mickey 17 has been pushed to 2025.
Yeah, this is disappointing. This was one of our 3 or 4 most.
It was number 2.
Was it 2?
Number 2.
Number 2 most anticipated.
And it was very
movie.
close to being above Deadpool for me.
Our number 2 most anticipated movie of 2024 has been bounced to 2025. This, of course, is from Parasite director Bong Joon-ho. Going to be starring Robert Pattinson. Now has a January 31st, 2025 release date. I'm okay. Make sure it's good. But Goo, the other little bit that we got out of this is the heads of Warner Brothers, the film bosses, quote unquote, are said to be less pumped about this now. So that's
why it's being released in January.
Yeah, that's not great.
That's not good at all, actually.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But oh well. Joining Mickey 17 News Dump. The John Wick spinoff Ballerina also going to 2025, but it is getting a summer release date of June 6th.
I will probably not think twice about this movie until June 5th.
But hear me out.
Ana
de Armas.
It's true. It's a good point.
Got a trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sorry. I mean Borderlands.
Yeah, this is based on the video game series, which I have not played 1 second of, so I don't know anything about this world. However, Goo, looks like an interesting cast of characters, alluding to your joke. Moreover, Kate Blanchett with this dyed red hair. It's doing it for me, Goo. It's doing it for me. I mean,
can I ask you, and I couldn't find this on the internet, so maybe you don't know, but is this at least rated R? Will this be a rated R Guardians?
That's a good question. I wonder, and actually, you know what might help these series, even though not a bunch of people watch it, but the Twisted Metal series on Paramount actually exceeded expectations, and that was R, and they used the R. I think we'll get adaptations like that'll be R, so maybe this will be.
I also liked on social media all the people being like, everybody that's comparing this to Guardians of the Galaxy, the first 2 games came out before that movie did. Well, that doesn't mean that they aren't taking inspiration from the fucking really popular movie.
Yeah, exactly.
News dump. Another trailer for Civil War.
Yeah, this is the Alex Garland.
No Civil War.
Alex Garland, A24.
Guys, that was me.
Jesse Plemons.
That was not Axl Rose.
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah. April 12th. This is going to be interesting. Interesting because it could go. This could be terrible. It could be great. That'll be an interesting watch.
News dump. From the star Zendaya, where you're getting Challengers. We got another trailer for Challengers. This one, I don't know why, feels less sexy. Is it because there's more kissing?
You're out on kissing. You don't use your
There's
mouth.
too much kissing in this trailer.
I love Zendaya.
I thought you were going to say, man, I love kissing.
I'm
really into Matlin Ward
by the way,
videos.
They do a great job in Dune 2 of not making her this damsel in distress that so many female characters fall into, and she's in her own right.
She's great. She's
badass.
Great.
So I'm obviously looking forward to more Zendaya stuff.
News down. Not on the rundown, but did you see the trailer for Boy Kills World?
I did not.
So that just popped up on social media just before we recorded. It stars Bill Skarsgård as he's mute and he might be deaf as well. And the voice in his head is H. John Benjamin. It's produced by Sam Raimi, and it's a big old action kill 'em up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So it looks pretty cool.
Sam Raimi's got to prove himself to me before I die.
It's produced by Sam Raimi. It's not directed by Sam Raimi.
Still.
And Skarsgård got ripped. Skarsgård must have got his brother's workout because he is shredded.
His brother, Alex, in that Robert Eggers movie, The Northman, is fucking yoked.
His brother, he was Tarzan, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I think he was Tarzan in the Tarzan movie, the one with Margot Robbie.
Sure.
Might be the most shredded anyone's ever been. And I've seen Brendan Fraser in George of the Jungle.
Yeah, great point. It's a great point, Goo.
News dump. Mac, this is an interesting little story.
Yeah, really interesting. Yeah. We're getting a 4-part Beatles biopic, and 4-part because each part will be told from a different perspective.
Hold up. May I? Okay, so they're telling similar stories, and all 4 of them are in all 4. It isn't like, the origin story of each, and then Thanos pops up at the end, and he puts them all in his gauntlet, and you make the Beatles.
Well, if you had just waited 8 seconds, I would have explained that. Sam Mendes, who is one of the better directors on the planet, is helming all 4 movies, and each movie will be one from Lennon's perspective, one from Ringo's, one from Paul's, one from George's, and all 4 films are separate, but will intertwine with each other. So this is quite the task. It's not coming out till 2027. This is ambitious to say the least. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know what Sam Mendes has done in the past to make me believe it should work, but he's such a good director, and I love the Beatles so much that I'm all in on this.
I'm a little Beatles fatigued. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you're a fucking baby.
Everyone just talks him up so much.
You're a child.
I am a child. Also, I read that he is looking for, he'll cast people with Liverpool accents.
I like that. In on that.
So I'm hoping that it is Jack Black, Justin Long, Paul Rudd, and then I can't think of who the fourth person was in Dewey Cox.
I hope it's Paul Rudd playing all 4 roles.
There's no limit to what you can imagine. That was great. I think it might have been Paul Rudd. No, Paul Rudd was Paul McCartney. Whoever was playing John Lennon, like dipped in and out of like an Irish accent, a Scottish accent. It was great. Go watch Dewey Cox again, guys.
Yeah, I can
walk
agree
hard.
on that one.
News dump. And the final piece of news is that Jenna Ortega is playing the daughter of Winona Ryder, Lydia Dietz, in Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah, when they announced her casting, we all assumed it was going to be in this role.
It has to be.
Yeah, she's confirmed it and basically is teasing the movie for the better.
Yep.
Now, I cannot, there's not an ounce of me that wants to get excited for this movie, but I bet the minute I see the trailer, I'll be excited for this one.
I've also read that Keaton told people that it's pretty much all practical stuff. It's all real.
Like
and they did this obviously to have it really feel like the 88 movie.
Yeah. So I'm in on that.
But I think you also need to figure out how much time Beetlejuice gets on screen. Because
you need a lot of Beetlejuice.
No, I think you don't need a lot of Beetlejuice. He's barely in the first one.
Well, that's why you would make the second movie, is to do full Beetlejuice. You're not going to make another Beetlejuice movie and have him be in for 9 minutes.
What if he's not in this movie? That would be a fucking prank and a half.
His son or something.
But it's still Keaton playing him. I hope they make it, and it's a lot like the animated series. That was fun.
I don't remember much from the animated series.
It was just crazy, like netherworld stuff.
Yeah.
So news dump. That'll do it for this dump. Check us out next week. We've got a lot of stuff. Maybe we'll do Echo.
Maybe.
News dump.